Vini DM'd me. It was bad. But Vini, he always deletes the messages.
Ô, Ana, me fala, quando e como você conheceu o Vini Júnior?
Eu conheci ele através do Instagram, mais ou menos no mês de agosto. Uma amiga minha é amiga dele, próxima, e mandou uma foto minha. Eu acho que ele se interessou. Entrou no meu Instagram, começou a ver minhas coisas e a gente começou a conversar. Aí depois de algumas conversas, aí ele pediu meu telefone e a gente começou a conversar pelo WhatsApp.
Tá, e quando é que foi esse primeiro contato e quando foi o último contato?
O primeiro contato, acredito que foi próximo ao dia 12 de agosto. E o último na segunda-feira passada, no dia 1º de outubro.
Olha,
de outubro, nossa!
recente. Tá. As conversas tinham cunho íntimo?
Sim.
Você mandou nudes pra ele? Ele te mandou nudes?
Sim.
Sim. Você encontrou já pessoalmente ele?
Não.
Não.
Vinícius Júnior's public apology, inside the scandal that shook Real Madrid's star winger. In the glamorous world of professional football, fame, money and admiration often walk hand in hand with drama, temptation and controversy. And in recent months, one of football's brightest young stars, Real Madrid winger Vinícius Júnior, has found himself at the center of not just transfer rumors or contract sagas, but a wave of personal headlines that have captured global attention. This is not about goals, assists, or trophies. It's about a story that unfolded behind the scenes, one that forced Vinícius to confront the price of fame, the weight of public scrutiny, and the fragility of relationships under the spotlight. Today, we're diving deep into the story of Vinícius Júnior's recent romantic controversy, the one that made headlines across Spain and Brazil, and led the Real Madrid superstar to publicly apologize to Brazilian-American presenter and influencer Virginia Fonseca. This is the full story, the mistakes, the heartbreak, the reflection, and what it all means for the man who's supposed to be one of football's future icons. Before we get into the heart of the controversy, let's set the stage. Vinícius José Paixão de Oliveira Jr., known simply as Vinícius Júnior, has become one of the most electrifying players in world football. Born in São Gonçalo, Brazil, his rise from Flamengo's youth academy to becoming a Champions League winner at Real Madrid has been nothing short of remarkable. At just 25 years old, Vinícius is not only one of Real Madrid's key attacking threats, but also one of the faces of the club's future, especially as legends like Benzema and Modric move into the twilight of their careers. His speed, flair, and relentless energy have made him a symbol of Brazilian football's new generation. But as the saying goes, the higher you rise, the more intense the spotlight becomes. And for Vinícius, that spotlight has now moved far beyond the pitch. The rumors begin. A private life goes public. It started innocently enough, or at least it seemed that way. Over recent months, Vinícius Júnior had been romantically linked to multiple women, with speculation swirling across Brazilian and Spanish tabloids. But one name in particular began to dominate the headlines. Virginia Fonseca, a popular Brazilian-American influencer, presenter, and social media figure known for her charm, charisma, and large online following. The connection between Vinícius and Virginia seemed to catch fire quickly. She was seen in Madrid, attending Real Madrid's victory over Villarreal at the Santiago Bernabeu, a sighting that fueled rumors that something special was developing between the two. The pair were said to have been spending time together privately, away from the cameras, and fans noticed the chemistry, even if it wasn't officially confirmed. But then, as quickly as the romance appeared, it seemed to unravel. Reports began circulating that Vinícius had been seen with another woman, a model, just weeks after his supposed relationship with Fonseca had started to blossom. Social media lit up with speculation, criticism, and judgment, and suddenly, the focus was no longer on Real Madrid's title chase or his dazzling form on the field. It was on his personal life, the turning point, the apology that shocked fans. For weeks, Vinícius stayed silent. He didn't respond to the gossip, didn't post about it, and didn't acknowledge the media noise. But then, everything changed. Out of nowhere, the Real Madrid star took to Instagram and posted a long, heartfelt message. It was raw, emotional, unexpected. It wasn't a denial. It wasn't an attempt to hide. It was instead a confession and an apology. In his message, Vinícius publicly apologized to Virginia Fonseca, admitting that he had been careless and had let her down. Here's part of what he wrote. "I'm not ashamed to admit that I was careless, that I did not respond in the best possible way, and that I let her down. We all go through moments that make us reflect and grow. I recently experienced a situation that made me reflect and recognize attitudes that did not represent who I want to be or the type of relationships I want to build." It was a statement that immediately went viral. Fans, journalists, and fellow players began sharing it across platforms. Vinícius went on to describe Virginia in glowing terms. "Virginia is an incredible woman, an admirable mother, and someone I feel enormous affection and respect for. Since we met, she has come to Madrid 3 times to see me, leaving behind her routine, her commitments, and her life just to be with me. I met an admirable mother and an amazing couple." And finally, the line that captured hearts around the world. "For this reason, I want to apologize publicly with an open heart, because I understood that a true relationship only exists when there's respect, trust, and transparency. The idea now is to restart everything. No lies, no fights, no masks, with a lot of love, affection, and respect." The reaction. Fans divided. Media explodes. The reaction to Vinícius' apology was instant and polarizing. Some fans praised him for taking accountability, for showing emotional maturity in a world where athletes often hide behind PR teams. Others, however, were less forgiving, questioning why such a personal matter needed to be handled so publicly. Brazilian media dissected every line of his post. Spanish sports outlets debated whether the distraction would affect his performances. Meanwhile, Virginia Fonseca's name began trending across social media, with her fans defending her integrity and applauding her composure throughout the drama. For Vinícius, however, this wasn't just another gossip headline. This was an uncomfortable lesson, one that blurred the lines between personal growth and public image management. Behind the glamour, the hidden pressure of fame. To understand why this situation spiraled so quickly, we need to step back and look at the bigger picture. For elite footballers like Vinícius, fame is both a blessing and a burden. Every move is watched, every post analyzed, every relationship speculated upon. In Brazil, where footballers are treated like national heroes, their private lives often become front-page news. And for someone like Vinícius, young, wealthy, handsome, and constantly in the spotlight, the scrutiny is relentless. He's not just playing for Real Madrid. He's playing under a microscope, and that microscope doesn't switch off when the final whistle blows. Whether it's his late-night outings, friendships, or romantic interests, everything becomes content. Everything becomes a headline. So when Vinícius found himself caught between public perception and personal reality, the consequences became magnified. A private mistake turned into an international talking point. The Real Madrid factor, contract tensions and distractions. But this story isn't just about love and heartbreak. It's about timing. Because while Vinícius was navigating personal turmoil, there was also tension behind the scenes at Real Madrid. Reports from Spanish outlets suggested that his ongoing contract negotiations had hit a few bumps. Vinícius's camp in Real Madrid had been discussing a renewal that would not only extend his stay at the Bernabeu, but also significantly increase his salary, placing him among the top earners in the squad. However, complications reportedly emerged surrounding image rights and performance clauses, and with all that happening off the pitch, this romantic scandal couldn't have come at a worse time. Some insiders even speculated that the club's management wasn't pleased with the extra tension his personal life was attracting, especially as Real Madrid prides itself on discipline and professionalism off the field. For a player often viewed as a potential future Ballon d'Or contender, Vinícius now found himself fighting on 2 fronts. One to protect his professional credibility, and another to rebuild his personal reputation. The human side, growth, reflection, and redemption. It's easy to forget that behind every celebrity or athlete's name is a human being, someone who makes mistakes, learns lessons, and grows. Vinícius' public apology wasn't just damage control, it was a window into his mindset. He acknowledged immaturity. He admitted he had failed someone who trusted him. And he recognized the need for transparency, respect, and self-improvement. In an era where footballers are often accused of arrogance or emotional detachment, Vinícius' message stood out. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't defensive. It was deeply human. It showed a young man willing to confront his flaws, to own up publicly, and to rebuild not just a relationship, but his sense of self-respect. Virginia Fonseca, the woman behind the headlines. Now, let's talk about Virginia Fonseca. A social media powerhouse with millions of followers, Virginia is more than just an influencer. She's also a successful entrepreneur, television host, and, as Vinícius highlighted, a devoted mother. Her relationship with Vinícius may have been brief, but it clearly had an emotional impact on both sides. Her decision to travel multiple times to Madrid showed dedication, but it also exposed her to the harsh realities of public scrutiny. After the story broke, Fonseca didn't lash out online. She didn't post cryptic messages or engage in public drama. Her silence was powerful, and in many ways, dignified. It's no surprise that fans flooded her social media pages with support, praising her strength and composure. For Vinícius, this may have been a personal misstep, but for Virginia, it became another reminder of how difficult it is to maintain privacy when your life is permanently connected to the spotlight. So, what can we take away from all of this? For Vinícius, this scandal could become a turning point, not just in how he handles relationships, but in how he manages fame. He learned